Welcome to UNCAGED, a show that celebrates thought leadership from today's top business leaders. The program provides a voice to amazing executives from around the globe who are shaping the world of business today and mapping the path to the commerce of tomorrow. Today, we're speaking with Greg Smith. Hey, Greg, how are you?
Hey, Ben.
It's good to have you on the show, Greg. We're going to talk about the world of insurance a lot today. Greg is the president at Crawford Company. Crawford Company is an independent adjusting firm specializing in claims and risk management for over 80 years. The world of risk is taking a lot of twists and turns lately, so it'll be very, very interesting to hear Greg's perspective on that. But before we get there, Greg, tell us a little bit about yourself and your career.
Sure. So I'm currently president of Crawford's Canadian business based in Toronto, Ontario, in Canada. And I've got the pleasure of leading a team of almost 1,000 professionals that operate in every province and territory across Canada. I've been with the organization 25 years. My career path is a really unique one, where I started with Crawford straight out of college and have spent my entire working career with the organization, taking on a variety of different roles in virtually every area of the organization over that period of time. Everything from marketing and sales to operations and shared services. A tremendous journey and a lot of great opportunities that got me to where I am today.
Wow. I mean, it's so rare to hear from someone who has really kind of grown with their employer over that period of time. It's really wonderful. And I can imagine that you've seen the company take many shifts and changes, but now that you're president, tell us a little bit about what you're working on.
Yeah, so working on corporate strategy, that's a passion of mine. It's always been something I've had my finger in it in every role I've had in the organization. And over the last couple of years, we've done a lot of backroom work, developing the strategy, planning for it. And this is a pretty exciting year where a lot of that work's now coming to fruition, where some of those new tools and solutions are finally being put into our employees' hands and our customers' hands. And to see all that hard work come to conclusions, pretty gratifying and exciting to know that it's just the tip of the iceberg of what we've got planned with our strategy, and seeing it come to fruition is created a lot of excitement in the organization as well as in the market with the customers.
Are these with kind of like some of the agents in the field, kind of giving them different tools?
Combination of both. So all of our field adjusters have digital capabilities now. A lot of that, as you can imagine, accelerated by the pandemic, looking to do a lot more virtual work than physical on-site work. And then some of these tools we put right in the hands of the end consumer, the policyholder, allowing them to submit some of their own photographs, allowing them to check on the status of their insurance claim, and just have a more seamless interaction with the people that are there, helping them resolve their insurance claim on behalf of their carrier.
So, I mean, I have to ask you, 25 years in this industry, be curious to get your take on the shift and change over that time.
Yeah, lots of shifts and changes, and sort of start to feel my age when I described to people what fax machines were and what some of the technology was that when we started in the business. And so the tools around what we do, they've certainly changed and for the better. Things are moving more quickly, but they're also providing much better service to policyholders than we could have provided with the old tools. But at the end of the day, there's a lot that hasn't changed. And, you know, our business is a very human one. Someone suffered a loss to their home or their business or whatnot. And at the core of it, it's still someone who shows a great deal of empathy and a great deal of compassion to go out and help them navigate that situation. So it's an interesting juxtaposition to see how much has changed, yet the core of the business is really those moments of truth that we have with our customers.
Yeah, and I find it interesting because of the way that insurance is sold, which is kind of like a monthly payment subscription model, has actually shifted and become part of almost every other industry, especially tech industries. We all kind of work under the same business model. So from a commercial perspective, I always think that us digital folks, we always owe the insurance industry a tremendous amount of gratitude for showing us the way in the commercial model. But, you know, I was curious to ask you more about the insurance space in general. We're living in, I guess you say, interesting times, which is always, I guess, a good thing and a crazy thing. And Just be curious how you guys are looking at the marketplace and the shifts on risk that we're seeing.
Yeah, tremendous shifts on risk. We're an industry that started with fire. That's how insurance began, was fire protection in the city of London back in the early 17 or 1800s. And the types of things and the types of risks that we're now tackling are so far beyond with the origins of the industry. Many years ago, water overtook fire as one of the biggest concerns, whether it's flooding or hurricane or any of that damage. And then we see things like cyber and events that we couldn't have even fathomed years ago, having really good insurance products in place to respond to and protect businesses. So as the broader economy changes and the world moves faster and becomes more complex, there's the insurance industry doing a fast follow behind to make sure that we're keeping pace with the protection and then the response that's required when the day happens and claims are resulting from those risks.
So, as a person that's been with the company for 25 years, this moment that we lived through in the last couple of years must have been quite an interesting one for you to see, which is, I imagine there was the Crawford way of doing things, and then suddenly everything was challenged. And just be curious what learnings that you have from the last couple of years, how that maybe altered the way you and the team functioned, and maybe opportunities that presented themselves.
Yeah, for sure. We speak openly in the insurance industry. We all feel as though the last 2 years has taken 10 years of changes and compressed it inside of 2 years for the better. Before the pandemic, to try and establish a video connection between two of our offices required a cast of thousands to make it work. And then magically, on March 15th, we were able to fire up the computers and everything worked. And so I think necessity forced a lot of people to adapt and change quickly. And then once they made the change, they realized some of the benefits of it. Even in our core business of handling insurance claims, we always thought that you have to go and visit the policyholder. It's just crucial. You couldn't possibly help them navigate such a challenging situation by telephone or by video call. And we still do. Throughout the pandemic, we were an essential service, going out, doing what we had to do. But we saw the general public more willing and more comfortable to use some of those technologies, where they preferred a digital connection. At times it was faster, it was more convenient. And so we've struck a nice balance where it's a consumer choice model, where we're able to meet you where you want us to, on whatever platform you want us to. And I think as more technology has entered every aspect of everyone's lives through the pandemic, people are just getting more comfortable with how it works and how they interact with it. And I think that's really done a great service for our industry in particular, and really helped us improve the service delivery we've been able to achieve.
That's amazing, by the way. I didn't realize that maybe it was in the Canadian market that you were given the ability to be able to still visit and meet with customers.
Yeah, we're fortunate in the sense that insurance, broadly speaking, was declared an essential service in all jurisdictions from the get-go. So that did give us the ability to work as we always had. We put our own restrictions in place. We were quite concerned about employee health and wellness, as well as the comfort of the people we were visiting. So we would go through checks and balances, and we had a two-stage sign-off for someone in the earliest days of the pandemic to actually go and visit a site and visit a home. But for some of those crucial types of claims where there just needed to be eyes and ears on the ground to help them navigate it, pretty proud of the men and women that work for us that did go out when all of us were staying here in our homes.
Greg, you talked a lot about some of these changes that you've been working on that are getting rolled out to the team, which is very exciting. And I'd just be curious to hear more about what 2022 looks like for you and Crawford and Company, and how you're approaching the market. It's been a year from my perspective that has not necessarily been what we forecasted. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride, but it'd be interesting to hear with someone who deals with these types of models more frequently and how you're looking at the world.
Yeah, a roller coaster ride is a great description of it. It does feel like almost from the beginning of the year, the starter's pistol got fired, and we've been off to the races with our business. Lots happening on the technology front in 2022 at Crawford. we've got a whole suite of tools that we were able to build ourselves or partner with great developers to bring to market. And our focus now is all anchored in a strategic pillar. We call it digital that simplifies. So we've got the digital part. Now it's time to simplify it. So we're trying to make the experience of our employees using those tools and integrating those tools and making it tie together more elegantly a real priority. And that applies to the consumers as well. And I think the second part of 2022 that we're managing our way through is one of the toughest labor markets we've seen in the history of the company. Certainly the technology does wonderful things, but without the human being to use the technology, as a professional services firm, we don't have a lot more that we're able to offer. So a lot of focus on retaining our talent. That's been a focus all the way through the pandemic, and we've doubled down on it this year. And as business grows, looking to recruit new talent into the industry. But the headlines you're seeing across every industry and every sector is just this critical shortage of.
Do you think that's going to continue? I mean, I don't know the specific inflationary pressures you're seeing in the Canadian market, but I've got to assume that as the impact of inflation hits, a lot of companies will start to probably have layoffs a bit. I don't know, it might kind of normalize the work market a bit.
For sure. I think we're starting to see, and it is sector by sector, the labor market in some of the faster growing industries. You see some of these lucrative job offers being rescinded, some people getting over, discovering the grass isn't always greener on the other side of the fence. Yeah. We do enjoy, the insurance industry. Let you know a secret, it's not one of the most exciting industries when you're on the outside looking in, but we do offer a tremendous amount of stability. So as we do head towards what looks like a bumpy ride in the economy, we do, not only our organization but the industry in general, provides a pretty safe harbor in terms of stability and financial security. So we're optimistic that is going to help things normalize a little bit. But we are hedging our bets just in case that doesn't come to fruition.
No, I hear you. No, I hear you. So, Greg, I mean, this has been really interesting. I find that you said that it's a stable industry. As I said, it's become such a bedrock for all businesses. There's not a person or a business out there that doesn't interface in some form or fashion with the insurance industry. So I can see why you are a critical business. If there are folks out there that want to speak with you and learn more about what's going on with Crawford and Company, where's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn and Twitter, or you can always email me at greg.smith@crawco.ca. Anyone who's willing to talk about insurance is happy to give me a call. And one thing about insurance people, we do love to talk about the business.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we've been speaking with Greg Smith. He is the president at Crawford and Company. Crawford and Company is an 80-year-old business. It's an independent adjusting firm specializing in claims and risk management. We've been talking about the insurance marketplace today, some of the twists and turns that we've been seeing, and also some of the trends. And some of the things that really pop out here today is that we're seeing companies like yours embrace digital technology, find new ways to employ that to improve the customer experience and bring it to another level, offer more flexibility in terms of whether people want it digital or whether they want it face-to-face. And that's great. I mean, those are great trends to see, Greg. And we look forward to hearing more about what you guys are up to, and welcome you back to the UNCAGED show in the future.
Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it.
Cheers.